Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you might be in this world. This is Hejin Lee with the Steemit blog. And I did not put out a Bitcoin update last night, and I don't think it's necessary for this morning because then after I checked the charts, I didn't see any significant changes to note. So consider Bitcoin as continuing in the same analysis as I had put out yesterday morning. I wanted to give a little update on Bitshares. Here is the markings that I had from prior time. There was a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 impulse waves. There was clearly A, B, and C down. Now, one thing on this count that I want to change is I think B is here. The reason for that, I think this is a triangle that I had missed. Fix that. And reads more as an A, B, C, D, E. A, B, C, D, and E like that. So A, B, C for A, A, B, C, D, E for B, and then we have the C wave. Okay. And this C wave would count down to 5. And I think 5 waves could be considered to be in, but let's see. 1, 2. It doesn't touch. This here is really close, but it's just by the slim few cents. Okay, there is a chance that 5 could be down here. There is a chance. And that means what? Ladder into it. I'm very bullish on Bitshares. Whoever's out there is trying to kill it, given its decentralized nature. And I wrote a blog about this. I wrote a blog about this 7 days ago. I'll put a link of this into this post for the blog. How BTS correction is almost done, and the government can do nothing. First target is 22 cents, 23 cents. And here I wrote how my initial thoughts were. You might want to consider listening to the video analysis for that as well. So back to the charts. So I think the correction is almost done. If not anything, that's why I put this a little lower here. Maybe one more low, but not required. It's possible. Wave 5 was so extended, so long. That means that the correction has to be just as deep. And it's gone to where wave 1, 2, past it, below wave 2 or 5. Now the other thing I wanted to take you into is okay, so here is the Bittrex feed, and they've already dropped, I believe, or they will drop, or have already. I don't know. I don't care. Bitshares trying to stomp it out. I truly think that the government is a little afraid of decentralized exchanges because they know they will have very few control. One commenter and reader of my blog, Grizgal, at Grizgal, had said, yes, but government can still take down the 17 or 20 witnesses. They could. Let's say they took down all of these witnesses for Bitshares, the witness nodes. There's over 100 alternates already ready and available. I'm sorry, almost 100. All of these alternate witnesses are hanging there just waiting to be chosen to have the functional role of a node. And these witnesses, standby witnesses, can be elected in a snap to replace even whatever number of these are taken out. So that really assures a non-disruption of the Bitshares exchange. I think this is very important, and you can get this list of voting witnesses from CryptoFresh. Now this is a linear chart. Let's look at the logarithmic chart. Okay. So this was a correction from the very genesis. I'm just going to, for now, label this as okay. This is the lowest point. And then now I'm going to count this. Now I'm going to count using what's called Elliott waves. For those of you who are new to my blog, welcome. And I'm going to pretty much try and do this for every video just as a quick introduction to what Elliott waves is, because unfortunately most people don't know. They're new to it. So for those of you who are well versed already into Elliott waves, please do bear with me. For the newcomers and new readers and followers, welcome and thank you for spending some of your time to read and watch my video analysis. So here I've written 5 waves. Elliott waves believes that technical analysis measures a reflection, as you can see in a price chart, a reflection of sentiment. And sentiment is what really drives price action, up and down, up and down. And that price action, that reflection of sentiment, as you can see in a chart, has a pattern. And that pattern can be measured using waves. Everything ebbs and flows in a measurable set of waves. And what R.N. Elliott in the early 1900s figured out was that stock market, back then he just used the stock market, moves in a set format of 5 waves, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And he realized also that after 5 waves, there's a 3-wave retracement, which is what he called the ABC. So 5, 3, 5, 3. And each wave is related to each other interchangeably by the Fibonacci ratio. And I think that's the key. Everything in our world, as we see it, embeds the Fibonacci golden ratio 0.618. We see it in our biology. For instance, the spiral helix of our DNA turns according to the Fibonacci ratio. The formation of a shell obeys the Fibonacci ratio. The vortex of our galaxies obey the Fibonacci ratio. Even at the atomic and molecular scales, Fibonacci ratios are obeyed. And again, all of that is a reflection of our sentiment, or what is beyond or upstream of sentiment is thought. And there's a famous saying that I always quote: what are words but symbols of symbols, hence twice removed from reality? What is technical analysis but a tool of tools designed to measure the reflection of sentiment, which is thus twice removed from reality. There's thought, sentiment, reflection of sentiment. And we measure only the reflection of sentiment. And that is why technical analysis is not perfect. So if any of you find that I make an incorrect call when I say up and it crashes, that is why. I am not perfect. You will even maybe witness fear of my losing streaks, I'm sure. But I value technical analysis because it helps you to get over that 55% correction, accuracy of calls. And that way you can build your wealth and increase your net liquidity value in your account. So 5 waves followed by 3-wave retrace of that initial uptrend progression. So let's see how that actually applies here. So here is a uptrend, and one personality feature of cryptocurrencies is when they have an uptrend, when they have a 5-wave uptrend, they do it really fast. They don't waste time. They go right up. And then when they do the correction, they take their time. It's like twice as long. Very long and lethargic. They chop it all out. So let's do a count here. I think this is, say, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I label these like that. There is more than one way to label it. I could have said 1, 2. But one thing that I try to keep is look at the form and fit of this pattern. I try to keep it to that. There's a rule between all the waves 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The bottom of wave 2 cannot be equal or lower than the bottom of wave 1. Check, no problem. Wave 3 cannot be the shortest between 1, 3, and 5. Well, 3 is definitely longer than 1, so check. bottom of wave 4 cannot overlap with the peak of wave 1. There's a big space there. Check. And wave 5 simply just needs 5 subwaves. If you look at wave 5 here, I can even label 5 subwaves. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Do you see? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So, just as you see 5 subwaves for wave 5, you need 5 subwaves for wave 3 and 5 subwaves for wave 1. So, let's see. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 subwaves for wave 3. For wave 1. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. See how it works? Just need to learn how to count to 5. and what I would significantly recommend is for you to purchase 2 books. And steemit.com is down again. I cannot access my blog where I listed my 2 books. But I will put a link to it to this blog. It has to do with a book on Elliott Wave, the Elliott Wave Principles by Frost and Proctor. And if you can purchase that book, invest in it, and maybe consider studying it to learn how to apply Elliott Wave analysis and counts, that'll be really great. So now back to this. This is a logarithmic chart, okay? Not a linear chart. So after 5 waves, the requisite ABC retrace must happen. And that's what's happening here. And this could be labeled A, B, C. Perfect. And this here is also a triangle, even in a logarithmic format, just like I showed in the linear. And that this triangle will be an ABCDE triangle. So this is a combination correction. Okay, so A, B, B is in the form of A, B, C, D, E, and then C is down. Now if you look at C, zoom into it, do I see 5 waves? So I think there looks like an overlap, but there's a t bit of a gap between the 4 and 1, so that it doesn't overlap. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it could be done. The correction could be done. I've always said the best time to buy is at the end of an ABC correction. Why? Because, let me get rid of these subwaves so it doesn't look so confusing and busy. So 5, ABC at the end of a correction. There will be a change in trend to the upside. So you'll notice my target is now different. It was 65 cents. Now it's $1.10, and I'll explain why it's different now in a logarithmic chart. It's more normalized. You can, well, I'll show you the count in a little bit. So 5 waves ABC. If this is done at the end of the C wave, there's going to be a trend change. Now, there could be one more low. Let's delve into this to the hourly chart. Okay. This has 5 waves down. Beautiful 5 waves by itself. The last leg of wave 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And I think here we are doing a triangle because cryptos just love to do triangles. Like that. It may come back one more time and rise. Or you may make one more low. But it's almost done, if not already done. If we go back to the daily chart, I think so these 5 waves, so I showed you earlier how wave 1 has 5 subwaves. Wave 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 has subwaves. Wave 5 has 5 subwaves. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? Well, these subwaves by themselves, I'm sorry, these white 5 waves, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, themselves become subwaves to a higher degree, wave 1. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 becomes subwaves to 1. And this ABC, just like it was 1, 2, there's 1, 2 here. After 1, these ABCs become subwaves to 2. Because after 1, you need wave 2, right? So you have 1, 2. So let me ask you, what happens after 1, 2? That's right. You get a huge 3. So do you see why I'm getting so excited here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, ABC. So 1, 2. And 3, just like here, has 5 subwaves. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this 3 blue will have 5 subwaves. There is a chance of one more lower low. Couldn't care less. That'll fill my lower buy ones that I have in place already. It'll look like this. I'm using support resistance on a logarithmic chart. So 3 will give us 110, 120. But 5 will give us almost 4, 373. This again is a logarithmic chart. Okay? Which will look very different on a linear chart. So initial target will be here, 110. which is close to, well, in a logarithmic scale, a 65-cent target I had on a linear chart. So what I would label this as wave 3. And I think this is important because for whatever reason, I don't know what will cause this. I don't know what news or event will drive it up like this. But Elliott Wave states that a news or an event shall arrive to justify the forecast. I'm very confident that 1 is in, 2 is just about done, if not already done. And after 1 blue, 2 blue, there's going to be a darn 3 blue. And I'm building my asset holdings of Bitshares for that. I don't care how thin the trading is right now, because believe me, when it's up there, the trading will not be thin. It will not be thin. The cause, and if I can just try to extrapolate, that might drive this price action. Maybe the SEC and the central banks will start trying to clamp down on the centralized exchanges like Bitfinex, Bittrex, Poloniex, Kraken, because they will be able to wield their quote-unquote regulatory influences over the centralized exchanges far more easily than they will be able to do so with the decentralized exchanges like Bitshares. Can you just imagine the price of Bitshares if the government even tried to do something like that? That means every wallet in every centralized exchanges will be thinking, I need decentralized exchange wallet and account. So what I have done, you can do whatever you want, is I have already set up all my wallets, local wallets, in Bitshares. In fact, I think I may want to become a witness for a node for Bitshares. And if the SEC and the central banks and the government try to regulate cryptocurrency exchanges, which is like, regulation is like considered to be like the evil wicked witch for the cryptocurrency world, for cryptosphere. And if that happens, I think the popularity of Bitshares can be phenomenal. Now here's the next thing. After wave 1, wave 2, wave 3, what happens? There's wave 4. In fact, in wave 4, we'll do its ABC, typically to the prior level, wave 4. Okay. We can label that. Wave 4. So what happens after 1, 2, 3? This wave 5. Don't forget 5. And you're going to see another huge impulse. People, this is how wealth is made. One, two, three, 4, 5. And I have 5. Somewhere in the 400, 375 range. So let's do some math. Price of Bitshares today is about 5 cents. If you have $10,000, that'll get you 200,000 shares or coins of Bitshares. If you have 200,000 Bitshares and you multiply that by $1.10, you're going to have $220,000 at wave 3. Let's say you take some profits because you know Elliott waves. You're going to sell maybe a half of it to buy more at lower prices at wave 4, and then you ride wave 5 up. So let's say you sold half, sold 100,000, bought more. Now you have, let's say, 230,000 coins. At the end of wave 5, when it's $422, 422 times 230,000. That's 97 frickin' million dollars. This is how your wealth is made. Even if you just buy 10,000 shares, which will cost you only $500. $500 at 5 cents each will give you 10,000 shares. Multiply that by $421. Let's say in a year or two, I don't know what the time frame is. That's $4.2 million. And those of you who get in here and ride it to here better send me some beer tips. I wouldn't need any, believe me. I don't really need any right now. I only do it as a scorekeeper. So you have wave 1, 2, wave 3, wave 4, wave 5. Now, again, this is a logarithmic chart, which is very different than a linear chart. The scale of rise is very different. But even if it just goes to $1.10, or even $2 or $3 in this region, wealth will be made if you get in at 5 cents. And if it goes to 2 cents, I will be overjoyed. Why will I be overjoyed when I see prices going lower? That means the Bitshares that I have right now is decreasing in value. You're not looking at it the right way if that's how you think. You have to think the big picture. There have been 5 waves up. After 5 waves, there is a correction. And if it goes lower, the correction is not yet done. But it's almost done because A, B is done. C is just finishing. And after A, B, C, there's a trend change. And this is what I'm waiting for. And Elliott waves allows you to think properly and see the waves properly so you know what's going on. It allows you to peek around the corner. And that corner is this. It's going to happen around the corner. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And maybe in not too long of a future from now, many millionaires will be made. because they maybe listened to Elliott wave analysis put out by Hedgen. I truly wish all of you massive, massive profits.